life was all work and no play, when from the corner of my eye someone beckoned to me. He said, come play the ukulele, you'll see the new way. You'll be filled with love from the skies above. Ukuleles of love, raining from the skies above. Tiny bubbles filled the spaces in my head. I was happy, I was glad that I got out of bed. The music took control of me. I threw away my threads. If you want to join the party, just say yes. You'll be filled with love from the skies above. Ukuleles of love, raining from the skies above. Ukuleles of love, ukuleles of love. Yes, you're here with Midnight Ukulele Disco, and we have a very special guest here. It's Mary J. Martin.
Thank you very much, Jason. It's a pleasure to be here.
We've been waiting for you here for a while.
How many years?
Yes, we have been, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Where are you coming from?
Tonight? No.
Tonight? Yeah, tonight to start with.
Yeah,
we were at a fabulous Australian embassy opening for, it was a retrospective of, what was the name of the artist?
Victoria Roberts.
Victoria Roberts.
And we had a view of the Chrysler Building.
And I got to drink
yes,
my
yes.
very favorite beer, Victoria Bitter. So
there you go, Victoria Bitter Beer.
Victoria Bitter tonight. It's,
there you go. Is it going to be a tattoo?
Oh, maybe there's
it's the right size. It's the right size.
But seriously, you're visiting us here from up north somewhere.
Well, I am Canadian, and recently I have been living in Cape Cod, so the actual drive was from Cape Cod to New York, and eventually back to Montreal, and then back to Cape Cod.
And now back to New York again.
Back to New York. I've been very lucky. We get to spend a month here house sitting, and so I'm doing as much ukulele playing as I can with the Sonic Uke guys.
Woohoo!
Yes.
So you were at our cabaret just that was a clip from the cabaret down at Otto's Shrunken Head.
January 23rd.
Oh, you remember the date.
Yeah.
That's there's another one coming up third Monday of this month, but I think you'll be back up north by then. But, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
We leave on the 15th.
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 Okay. Well,
I'll
be there in spirit.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try and tune in.
So, but that wasn't the first time we heard you play. I think you got in touch with me for our ukulele drop on
I was
New
living
Year's.
I was going to say I was living in ukulele. I was living in New York, staying there for a couple of weeks, and we found a poster, and it was a ukulele drop, and didn't know what that meant. I thought maybe that was a new word for party. Let's go to the ukulele drop.
You were not too far wrong there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just a block from where I was living. And so I went and emailed you, finally got in touch with you. And then I was lucky enough to join you on the balcony for the Midnight Ukulele Drop.
Oh, God, and the rest, they say, is history.
Yeah, and it was crazy to see, though, from the balcony, because people are filing out of restaurants at midnight because they're just out there for midnight, and then all of a sudden they hear all this collateral damage upstairs. And there was one guy out there who still had his bib on, and then I hear the fire guys next door were throwing toilet paper out instead of streamers, and it was a good party at the Murray Space Shoe. I tell you, to be outside for that.
I always hope there'll be another one next year. Hopefully there still will be, yeah.
I hope so,
But,
and no ukuleles are harmed.
Well, no ukuleles are harmed, no, that's right. But you came down with your ukulele from Cape Cod, Provincetown, right? Now,
yes.
what's the ukulele scene like in P-Town? Are you?
I think I might be it. There's another person who plays ukulele, but she doesn't. She plays mostly piano in her act. I forget her name now. But she's a long-standing musician in Cape Cod, Provincetown. But otherwise, I don't hear much about ukulele. Every now and then I get hired to do a Hawaiian wedding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was truly, they just want me to sing Hawaiian songs and play my ukulele.
And this last summer you were telling me over a glass of Victoria Bitter, well actually it wasn't a glass, it was just straight out of the bottle. You were telling me some story about
I'm going to tell you.
There was a moment of silence that...
yeah, that was with the viola. That's funny. I also play jazz viola. And in Cape Cod they have in Provincetown, they have a swim for life, and it's a 1.5 mile swim. And 2 summers ago, he asked me to do it again this summer, but I wasn't available. But anyhow, it was just a great invitation. The fellow who organizes it, Jay Critchley, I come home and I get this message on my machine, and it says, Mary, I'd like you to do a moment of silence for us. Which I know is a great invitation, right? But the second impulse is to say, of all the people he wants to shut up, why does he want me to shut up? But it was beautiful because there were 500 people, about 300 people, I guess, on a beautiful, bright day. And it was very strange because I started to do the moment of silence, to play the music. And I looked down and all these people are in their bathing suits or their wet gear, and they stop. They're they're half getting into their clothes or not before the swim. And everybody just stops. But that was viola, not ukulele.
Oh, that was probably a powerful moment. But what I'd like to have right now is a moment of sound.
Okay.
Have you got something for us there?
I thought just for funsies, I would play the first song that I ever learned to play on the ukulele.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Mary J. Martin, all the way from Provincetown via Nova Scotia, via Provincetown here in New York City for your pleasure. First song.
The first song I ever learned. We had to use it for an audition. The brief version of Never on a Sunday.
Never on a Sunday.
And they all had to use that for an audition.
What was that an audition for?
Some ukulele group that you got into.
I asked you that because
Okay,
always tuning.
Always tuning, yeah, the stringed instruments, you know.
When you say auditioning for a ukulele group, I understand.
There were throngs.
Mary's from Canada, and in Canada there was a thing about the ukulele there, right?
Particularly in Halifax, there was a music program, and the fellow, at the time a lot of people used recorders or those harmonium telephone keyboards, but he thought that the ukulele would be a very good tool for teaching. And it is, because you get your rhythms and your chords and then your melody. So anybody in town who wanted to play ukulele could, and it started out with kids, and there were throngs of us. And so you would audition. There were, in every school, practically, you could play ukulele. And then if you wanted to audition, you could get into a group that was across the city. And so there were B groups, and then there was the A group. So if you were lucky, you got into a B group, and then you would audition the following year. Maybe you'd get up into B1. And then, if you're in B1, then you'd get into A.
The ukulele leagues, listen to that. Is that still going on now these days?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't know.
So.
Yeah.
The gentleman was Chalmers Doane?
J. Chalmers Doane. D-O-A-N-E.
Recently inducted into a Hall of Fame of some sort, I think, right?
Did I bring the photograph with me? Yeah, I did, but it's out of range, so it's okay.
We'll
he
check
was just given the Ukulele Hall of Fame. That's cool. That's of course where he belongs. But he also got the Order of Canada, which is a big deal, I think. Because of course he's going to be in the Ukulele Hall of Fame, but for his teaching skills, they recognized the number of people who learned from him, and. Yeah, they had this big ukulele ceilidh. I wasn't part of that thing, but the giant ukulele, which I have a picture of, which is packed away now, which we don't have time to get.
You can look that up, the ukulele ceilidh. It was up in Halifax, right?
No, it was on the South Shore. Was it Lunenburg or White Point?
That was this last summer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at the end of last summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they'll be having it in another couple of years' time, all going well.
Yeah, is it going to? Yeah, so you're keeping up on the politics of it then. So it's not going to be an annual thing. It's going to be every other year.
That's what I heard. But there is a ukulele. Here's a shameless plug. There is a ukulele festival coming up this year, which is the New York Ukulele Festival. And I wonder if I have it.
Oh, the great logo. It's a great logo.
It's not, is it? It's not immediately at hand, but we'll be coming back to that a little later.
Yeah,
the New York NY Uke Fest is coming up at the end of April.
Are you people really watching this? Wow.
We might do some call-ins later. Have you got another song for us, Mary?
Okay. I'd like to do a longish one that I wrote that's never been performed on air, if nobody minds.
This is, you hear it first, here on Midnight Ukulele Disco.
I'll have to think about it for just a second. I'm going to start that again just for sound purposes. Our sound man is giving me generous knowledge there.
Thank you, Mary.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
First performance live here
Yes.
on Midnight Ukulele Disco.
There you go.
Hey, I've got a clip from the Ukulele Cabaret. We'll
Okay.
take that now, and we'll be back with more from Mary J. Martin right after this.
Perhaps I had a wicked childhood. Perhaps I had a miserable youth. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable youth there must have been a moment of truth. For here you are standing there loving me, whether or not you should. For somewhere in my wicked, miserable past there must have been a moment of truth. Nothing comes from nothing, nothing ever could. But somewhere in my wicked, miserable past there must have been, must have done something good.
Lullaby birdland, that's what I always hear. When you sigh, never in my wordland could there be words to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtle doves, bill and coo? When they love, that's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. Then there's the weepy old willow, he really knows how to cry. That's how I'd cry on my pillow if you should tell me farewell and goodbye. Lullaby of birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, and we'll go flying high in birdland, high in the sky up above. We're in love. Lullaby birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, and we'll go flying high in birdland, high in the sky up above, all because we're in love. And the next is a request, a partial request for Jason and Ted of Sonic Uke. And there, the rest you can take off on your own with.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was by special request. Thank you, Mary, for that.
It's my pleasure, Jason, and to you, Ted.
Hey, we've got another clip of Mary at the cabaret, which I'd like to play next. And then we'll be back, and we've got some, believe it or not, some real video, some real clips, newspaper clippings, that is, not video clips, from the ukulele Kaylee, and also photos of the giant ukulele. This is all coming up soon. Check out this from the Ukulele Cabaret.
My baby got itchy feet. She runs all over town. My baby got itchy feet. She knows every guy around. My baby got itchy feet. And plenty of fish to fry. My baby got itchy feet. She's always on the fly. But when she's sleeping, she's with me. When she's alone, she calls on the phone. When no one's looking, she'll come knocking. But when she sleeps, she's sleeping with me.
Well, alright, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay, you win. Baby, what can I do? I'll do anything you say. It's just got to be that way. Well, alright, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay, you win. Baby, what can I do? Anything you say I'll do, as long as it's me and you. First thing in the morning, you gotta wake me with a kiss. You gotta make up for all the loving you have made me miss. Alright, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay, you win. Baby, one thing more. If I'm gonna be your man, sweet baby, take me by the hand. All that I am asking, all I want from you is just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Well, alright, okay, you win. What are you waiting for? Alright, okay, you win. Baby, one thing more. If I'm gonna be your man, sweet baby, take me by the hand. Well, alright, okay, you win. Well, alright. Thank you.
Yes, that was the Tin Pan Alley Cat there at the Ukulele Cabaret, along with Mary J. Martin there earlier. What a night that was.
Oh, that was a load of fun, I tell you, I tell you.
Hey, I've got something I'd like to show you. This is this clip. Here we have, I think you can see there, a giant ukulele. Now is that the world's largest ukulele?
Well, this was interesting because this ukulele was in fact made for a float that I worked on for the phone company many years ago. And we actually did enter it into the Guinness Book of Records.
The Guinness Book of Records for?
The biggest ukulele on the planet. And we were refused. And it was funny because I was talking to somebody last year who thought we were refused because there was a larger ukulele. But we were refused because it wasn't a working ukulele. The chords were great, huge telephone chords that they just put on to look like strings. So, but in terms of size, they're the largest ukuleles on the planet.
Hey, we have a picture here of another one. You said there. This is a photo here of a
There you
second
go.
of the
Yeah.
ukuleles.
So, well, what happened was the phone company hired us one summer, just a couple of us, and this had nothing to do with the school programs or anything. We got paid for this to ride in a horse-drawn wagon and play some ukulele. And it was so successful that over that winter, some of the engineers designed this float, which was one of those ukuleles on either side. And you can see they're huge. You know, they're works of art at this point. And we would have 6 ukulele players on either side sitting down, and then bass and drums up behind.
Let's take another shot of this ukulele there, Freddie, on
No,
camera too.
okay. And so when you see that,
That's it there.
There you
That's
go.
the
that's the
giant
garage.
ukulele. I think,
Yeah, that's
is this you there, Mary?
yeah,
or
that is me in the
that's
back there. It's kind of
Mary, all the way
yeah.
dwarfed by this
teeny
ukulele.
tiny. So it was like meeting an old lover, you know, because I'd spent the whole summer with these ukuleles, and we traveled all through Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, and got all sorts of pictures taken of us and stuff. You know, I mean, it was a good summer, and then they disappeared. I had no idea where they went, and they didn't cross my mind that much. And last fall, I went to an old music teacher's house to visit, and that day, they were taking that ukulele to the Cayley, because the phone company some years earlier was going to get rid of it, didn't have room, and someone said, well, he'll take them, he's got room. So one of them is still there alone in South Maitland, Nova Scotia. There you go. But they're quite beautiful. They're quite beautiful.
It's quite a beautiful.
And we would cover them very carefully after every parade, and if it rained, we'd run out, and we'd always cover that instrument before our own, practically. A very tight-knit group of kids, I'll tell you.
Mary J. Martin.
Yes.
From Nova Scotia.
Haligonia by the sea.
We might even have to say it's the second birthplace of the ukulele, looking at this giant ukulele here.
Something else, eh? Something else. Who's the guy who does the big works of art?
Oh, the wraps up...
No, not Christoph.
No, Crystal.
Klaus Oldenburg. To me, it looks like a Klaus Oldenburg now. But
Put in a museum somewhere. Have you got another song for us, Mary?
sure I do. Sure I do. We'll do a... If you let me tune, and then we'll...
Now, just talking about tuning, I bring this up for Ted's sake, if he's listening. Are you following the royal tuning or the people's tuning?
Well, I figure, you know, if they write A on the string that I buy in the store, then it should be A on the ukulele. I mean, but all I'm saying, I have never, not until New Year's Eve did I hear about the people's tuning, and I thought I was in some sort of, I thought I was going to be declaimed as a member of the bourgeoisie, because I tune to low A, D, F sharp, and B. And you tune to
G, C, E, A. So we can resolve these differences afterwards.
Yes,
but
yes,
I'm
yes,
enjoying the slightly higher pitch this evening.
Okay, and I'll end with a goodbye song. Are we ready?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining
It's been a
us.
wonderful time here in New York City.
Thanks a lot, Mary.
Oh, no, thank you.
It's been great having you on the show.
On
and
live.
we hope to have you back again, or we'll have to chase you up in P-Town. What a shame it would be to visit. Hey, we're
It'll be
going to
a
go
pleasure
out
to see
with
you
Tiny
again.
Bubbles,
Okay.
and we'll catch you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.
Bye. Stay in tune.
In a disillusioned state